Let's use our traditions to create new seeds. Each one reach one, and we all succeed. What will a soul bring forth when the soul meets need? What will a nation bring forth with positive deeds? As natural as a bird on the wing, as mighty as a honeybee, each one reach one and teach one. Imagine how great the world will be when we all live equally. 'Cause a nation only rises as high as she. A nation only rises as high as its woman. Daughters of Eve, this army of ivy, dispensing education so we can break the chains of oppression and poverty. 1 billion strong is what we'll reach. Mother to daughter, friend to friend, sister to sister, it never ends. Takes a village, takes a team. It takes heart to propel this stream. Call on you, you can call on me to be the sower of a new seed. We are the hope, we are the flame, we are the future, we are the change. We are the change. Daughters of Eve, do what you love so you love what you do. Live your purpose cause it's only for you. You have the power, live in power, be empowered. Daughters of love, what you do. Live your purpose cause it's only for you. You have the power, live in power, be empowered. Each one reach one, mother to daughter, friend to friend. Each one teach one. Cycle never ends. Each one reach one, mother to daughter, friend to friend. Each one teach one, sister to sister. No, the cycle never ends. No, no, the cycle never ends.
Welcome. I am Linda Pringle Evans, Dean of Education for Empowering a Billion Women. You just heard the voice, and I do mean the voice, of Lachelle Allen. What a magnificent voice she has. She has the voice of an angel, and we are thrilled that Lachelle took the time to create Each One, Reach One, just for today's celebration. So thank you so very much, Lachelle. I am so excited to serve as your host for celebrating Women's Entrepreneurship Day. I'm certain you have figured out what our theme is today. You've seen it, women educating women. We could not have this celebration if it weren't for all of you. Thank you on behalf of Ingrid Vandervelt, the EBW team, and myself for taking time out and spending this hour with us. I promise you won't regret being here. You will leave wanting more. Allow me to share what you can expect. You're going to hear from 5 amazing women who educate women every day within their businesses and organizations. They are truly making a difference for women entrepreneurs. We have one of the best news co-anchors professionals serving as moderator today, Miss Colleen Marshall. And I also will have the pleasure of you meeting the team, Miss Cynthia Barnes, the vice president, of EBW's Education and HR. You have the opportunity to meet Ms. Shirley Hoxat, who is the director of the community for EBW. You're going to hear 2 ladies share an amazing story, and you're going to hear a poem that was created just for today for all of us. So it is my pleasure that we will have an opportunity to spend this time together. Now, before we begin, let me just share a little bit about our, moderator for this afternoon. Colleen Marshall, co-anchor of NBC4 in Columbus, Ohio. She is the co-anchor at 6 p.m., 7 p.m., and 11 p.m. She is also the host of the weekly political program, NBC4's The Spectrum. She came to NBC as a general assignment reporter in 1984. Colleen was promoted to anchor of NBC4's Weekends News in 1987, then became co-anchor of the NBC4's weekday news programs in 1992. Now, here's something amazing about this lady. In 2004, Colleen graduated from the Capital University School of Law in Columbus, where she was the recipient of a trustee scholarship and was named to the Dean's List and was a member of the Law Review and the National Moot Court team. She also passed the bar exam in 2004. She has won 4 Emmy Awards for the health program, I Want to Go Home, A Journey Through Alzheimer's, and received an Associated Press Award for the series in 2012. By the way, Colleen has had 2 one-on-one interviews with President Obama. One was in the White House, but her most memorable moment was being in New York, there for a week during the September 11 terror attacks. Due to time constraints, I can't share all of the accomplishments of this magnificent woman. So without further ado, I would like to introduce to you our moderator, Ms. Colleen Marshall.
Thank you so much. I really do appreciate that very lovely welcome. And welcome to all of you. I think you are going to be impressed with the women that you are about to hear from. We've put together a magnificent panel of 5 women, each of them distinct in what they have done in their careers, but more importantly, what they have done to help other women. And that's what this is all about. You heard the song at the beginning, Each One Reach One. And I think you are going to be touched and reached by the women you're going to be hearing from today. And it's my honor to introduce first to you Ambassador Sujay Johnson Cook. She is the president and CEO of Charisma Speakers. That is a full-service communications, cross-cultural competency, consultant, coaching firm, and Wisdom Women Worldwide, which is an empowerment center for women. That's what we're going to be talking today about, empowering women. She's an executive president and CEO of the Pro-Voice Movement for Women. She hosts conversations with Ambassador Sujay on the Ambassador Sujay channel. That's on YouTube. She's also a member of the Distinguished Renaissance Weekend Delta Sigma Theta sorority. So important, these sororities, what they do. And she's a commentator for the Huffington Post. She is probably known as the leader's leader. She's been branded that way, an ambassador in chief. She has advised presidents and the Secretary of State on religious freedom, on foreign policy. She has been involved with President Obama, as well as she was involved with President Clinton and his initiative on race. She's a leader of political, law enforcement, and faith arenas, a remarkable woman. And again, we don't have time to read all of the accomplishments of all of these women, but I think when you hear her, you will agree. She is a remarkable, not only an entrepreneur, but an ambassador for women everywhere. Here is Ambassador Sujay Johnson Cook.
Thank you so much for that warm introduction. And to Ivy, EBW, and Linda, thank you so much for the invitation. It's my delight and honor to be with you. And I think if you took all of those resume points and put them together, what my latest baby is the Global Black Women's Chamber of Commerce, which allows us to educate women on an ongoing basis. Because as a Black woman, a third generation Black woman business owner, I learned my first lessons about educating women at the feet of my mother, and who was a businesswoman, because all of us, our mothers are our first teachers. And she taught me business at an early age. And so the compilation of all of those relationships, Pro Voice, Wisdom Women, Women on the World Stage, came to pass. And so recently we launched, with almost 100 members, the Global Black Women's Chamber of Commerce, where we can take all of our lifelong experiences and educate one another, mentor one another. It is a collection. It is the first chamber of commerce that is for solely dedicated to Black women business owners. There we connect, we collaborate, we create businesses in partnership, one with EBW, creating 25 new Black women distributors of PPE equipment, but it's an ongoing education process where we learn from one another, we share together, we collaborate together, and then we rock this world together. It used to say the hand that rocks the cradle rocks the world, but the hands that build the cradle rock the whole universe. And so we're getting ready to rock this world. We're not just closing the wealth gap, but we're also creating generational wealth. And how do you educate a woman to do that so it doesn't get lost at the end of one generation, but it continues to grow so that we can sow into one another, so that we can grow and then flow together. It is my honor to be a partner with EBW because we have educated one another. We shared our experiences, that there are no separations, but we learn how to bridge whatever divides there are. And certainly economically, we want to help women bridge those divides and create new businesses. We'll be looking at emerging markets. We'll be looking at women who are doing dynamic work all over the globe. So we are worldwide, we are wise women, and we want to be wealthy women. We're having on December 4th, where we bring all of our experiences together, what's called the State of Black Women, where we were looking at Black women leaders in business all over the globe and learning from one another. So you can find us at stateofblackwomen.org, or you can go to Eventbrite and look up State of Black Women Virtual Summit. That's Friday, December 4th from 3 to 5 p.m. And you're always welcome to join the GBWCC, that's the Global Black Women Chamber of Commerce movement. You can find us at globalblackwomencc.org. Yes, globalblackwomencc.org. It has been my honor to be with you. We celebrate women educating women. Thank you, Colleen, and thank you, EBW, for having me.
Oh, thank you so much. And we are looking forward to your comments today. And we are also looking forward to hearing from our next presenter, who's going to introduce herself to you. But let me tell you a little bit about her. It's Dr. Paula Noble Fellingham. She is the author of 8 books. She's got her doctorate in HR. She's the author of 8 books, including an internationally popular book, Believe It, Become It: How to Hurdle Barriers and Excel Like Never Before. She is the founder of the Women's Information Network, one of the largest networks to gather women together for the same purpose. In fact, WIN hosted the largest gathering of women in history for the 100th anniversary of International Women's Day. She is also one of the Points of Light Award recipients from President George W. Bush, and has also received the President's Service Award. She's a remarkable woman. Her comprehensive total life excellence curriculum is taught all around the world, and it strengthens people mentally, physically, emotionally, socially, spiritually, financially, and in their relationships as well. She has presented to delegates of the United Nations for the World Movement of Mothers in Paris, and at numerous conferences. She really speaks all around the world. We are so pleased to have her here with us today because, again, she is a point of light. Please welcome Paula, and thank you for being with us today.
You are so welcome. It's my joy and my honor, and I want to thank EBW for putting on this wonderful event. So I wanted to tell you a little bit about the Women's Information Network. It's the WIN, and we launched it in 2008. By 2011, we had 1 million hits every month, women coming in. We really were on the forefront, and I love that there are so many women's networks now. I just love it. And I honor everyone who has been doing this wonderful work of women educating women. So International Women's Day, yes, was one of the highlights. In 2011, we presented 377 live events in 152 nations. And that took a year of coordination. And it was back then when we were learning how to live stream. It was not nearly as easy as it is now. And we did it over a 3-day period. And now this next International Women's Day, 2021, we want to break our own record. We will actually be live streaming out to 195 nations and have hundreds of women involved over a 4-day period. And you can check that out on International Women's Day, and it's the .org. So I love, so talking about educating women, I've been doing this for over 30 years, and it's been such a joy. So the Women's Information Network we are a global community of women helping women live our best lives through celebration, self-improvement, and service. So the celebration part are our wonderful events. And yes, part of my question was, have you had to pivot? And yes, I have had to pivot. And my acronym of pivot is putting increased value on technology, because I've gone from being, flying all over the world and presenting hundreds of events, especially global women's summits. We've put on over 200 global women's summits all over the world. And I teach women how to put on events worldwide. And so we have had to pivot to technology, but I have to admit that I believe there are so many blessings in this pandemic, part of which are exactly what we're doing today. We're coming in from all over and we're gathering together. And I spend about 6 hours a day on Zoom teaching. And I love it. It's so wonderful to be able to reach so many women in such an easy way. So this is a magnificent opportunity. I would like to invite everyone who would like to learn about how we educate in the self-improvement part to go to womensinformationnetwork.com, where we invite so many authors, speakers, experts, women who have beautiful messages to share. And we invite them to share with the women of the world, no charge. You just come and you enjoy, you download for free these beautiful, we call them thought leaders, our WIN thought leaders. And we're growing this to be many hundreds of thought leaders. And we will be creating the WIN India, the WIN Asia, the WIN Latina. So I just honor you for coming, for being with us. I love the women of the world. And I just thank you for women helping women live our best lives. Women do this all day long, every day. And a special, again, thanks to EBW. Appreciate this opportunity.
And we appreciate you for being with us and giving us your expertise. And we will, of course, be checking in with you in a bit. But next, I want to introduce Yolanda Campbell, who is also with us today. She is an experienced businesswoman. She's committed to serving the community and also committed to the important mission of empowering women, young adults, and families to be intentional in the way they live their lives for impactful purposes. She's an entrepreneur, a consultant, an award-winning facilitator and coach, and also an international speaker who specializes in creating, implementing customized solutions for organizational improvements. She's the Chief Diversity Officer, inaugural director of Women's Leadership Institute, and the Bold Women's Leadership Network at the College of St. Rose in Albany, New York, and is the International Leadership Association's Women and Leadership 2020 Outstanding Practice with Broad Impact Award recipient. She is also the founder of Titus Enterprises. She's a wife and a mother committed to living a life that allows her the freedom to love family and succeed in business while serving her community. Please join us in welcoming Yolanda Caldwell.
Thank you, Colleen, and thank you, Ivy and EBW and Linda, for inviting me today. I am excited to share with you some of the great things that we're doing in Albany, New York at the College of St. Rose. As mentioned, I am the Chief Diversity Officer as well as the Director of the Women's Leadership Institute. And we are celebrating our first year at the Women's Leadership Institute. And we were founded to serve 3 women: the women who are preparing for their careers, the women who are early in their careers, and women who are in their mid-careers. And we do this through education, advocacy, and collaboration. Our education arm is where we present webinars, seminars. We also offer professional certificates to help women understand their value, and to develop their skills. We also do advocacy. We focus on 3 UN sustainability goals. Number 5, which is gender equality, 4, quality education, and 8, decent work and economic growth. And finally, we focus on collaboration. We partner with organizations that align with our values and our vision. So today I want to talk to you a little bit about how we educate women. Our focus is to assist women in building their capacity by developing that mindset that they are business women and that they have an entrepreneurial spirit. It doesn't matter what arena of work that they choose to work. They have invested in themselves. They have invested in their education, in their training, in their development. And we want them to understand how valuable it is that they understand those skills and that their worth should be compensated. So we want to help close that wealth gap. We want to deal with the crisis that women are suffering right now as a result of the pandemic by increasing their skills and helping them understand how to pivot and how to transition as their career grows. No one's career is linear. Everyone's career is flexible and it has curves and it has bends. And we want women to understand how to navigate that, how to go through that process and still grow and win and be successful. So through our programming, we work with women where they are, whether they're beginning their career, whether they are still transitioning into something new. But our whole focus is to help them really understand that as they transform themselves by building their skills, building their wealth, they also have an opportunity to transform this world. We are so excited with the things that we have planned coming up in 2021, and we look forward to sharing that information with you. So if you're interested in what we're doing at the College of St. Rose, please visit us at our website. It's strose.edu, and look and see what we're doing in the areas of women in leadership. I would also like to talk about some of the work that we're doing with one of our key partners, which is the International Leadership Association. We have an affinity group, Women in Leadership, and we are doing great work globally in moving forward not only the practice of women in leadership, but also the theory of women in leadership. And the main point that we want you to understand, women, anyone who's watching and participating in this conference, is no matter what arena you choose to work, you are the architect of your career. And you have the right to be fairly compensated for the great skills and talent that you're bringing to the table. So don't forget that. And we thank EBW again for having us today. And I hope everyone enjoys the program.
Thank you so much. We really appreciate that, Ms. Caldwell. Thank you. And our next speaker really is a woman who has not only empowered other women, she's reached a point of power herself. Therese Marriott-Thompson is Vice President of Global Supply Diversity for the Coca-Cola Company. She has been with this company for a number of years as an associate for nearly 35 years. She has held numerous roles of increasing responsibility, and that's what we just heard Yolanda talk about. When you take your career and you pivot and you shape it and you keep climbing. She assumed her current leadership position back in April of 2012. Most notably, the Supplier Training and Empowerment Program was developed to support the Coca-Cola Company's 5x20 initiative. Listen to this, to empower 5 million women by 2020. STEP has also been a featured program on the Women of Color, the fastest growing sector of entrepreneurs. Just prior to her current assignment, she was responsible for employee engagement. She has empowered and encouraged employees in her senior role at Coca-Cola for decades now, working with the global public affairs. She led the company's $1 billion Empowerment and Entrepreneur Program for minority and women-owned businesses. She is a remarkable woman, and we are happy to welcome Therese Marriott-Thompson.
Thank you, Colleen, and thank you, EBW. I'm going to stop and say I'm always humbled when I'm asked to participate in a program such as this with such great women, such great personalities. This has actually been very inspiring because sometimes you don't know exactly what you're going to get, but this has been wonderful so far. And I do hope all of you in the audience benefit from what we're here to say. So very similar to Ambassador Sujay, as an African-American woman, I think Black women, educating women is natural and an organic part of our legacy. So as a person in supplier diversity, and that is, I actually work for Coke to advocate for diverse business owners. It's sort of a natural extension. Education is a natural extension of who I am. But in the corporate world, it has to be very intentional. The education really needs to be very thoughtful as you are bringing diverse businesses and women into our supply chain and giving them opportunities. And so I consider myself very fortunate to be able to be an advocate for women in the corporate environment. And I guess, you might say, how do you do that? It is somewhat confining. And those of you who've experienced corporate America, it is a little bit more than a notion to bring a diversity into a supply chain. And so I do think, as with everything else, in a corporate environment, being intentional and finding those opportunities. And I would also say there is a fierceness that is required to really advocate in a way that you are truly growing and developing and educating the women that you encounter. You really do have to find those opportunities that don't seem as natural in a corporate environment, even though we make that pledge to do it. And one of the things that I have found, for example, is taking, there are not many people, whether it be corporate or outside, who don't see the benefit in helping others. And I would say one of the opportunities that, especially when you have a corporation that's willing to do that, and one of the places where I think that I exercised a bit of fierceness around educating women was one of the programs that Colleen mentioned in my bio. The company had already made a commitment to empower women generally across our ecosystem. And one opportunity, if you look at the numbers, and I think many of you will acknowledge this, is that the fastest growing sector of entrepreneurs are women of color, and they've reached that glass ceiling a lot closer. And so although the Coca-Cola company was very much supportive of us supporting women, I felt like there was a gap in direct support for women of color. And so I think what was somewhat of a bold move went to the largest women's organization, WeBank, and asked them to focus on women of color entrepreneurs and this journey to empower 1 million women. And fortunately, through the relationships that I had developed and through making the case for that, we actually have a 5-year program that has been award-winning and focused on those women. So again, as I said, every opportunity that you have in your space is an opportunity to educate. And I would say, as important as the moments of education, again, I'll mention that word intentionality, it really has to be a build, because education is a long-term sustainable journey. So it's not really about that one moment, and sometimes there is that one moment, but it's really building on those opportunities to share and provide your knowledge. And then the other thing that I have found in this journey of educating and empowering women is really taking the opportunity to build yourself. Because I think I call it reverse mentoring. I have found, especially as I move later in my career, that as much as I teach and empower, I am also learning and empowering myself. Because if you're not growing and you're not developing, it's hard to embed that empowerment on other people. And for me, as I look back in my career, I actually, I'm not making a new announcement to some people who know me, I've actually decided to retire from the Coca-Cola company after those 35 years. Really got offered a fantastic opportunity with the company. And I have to say, diversity was not really my first choice. I really was about finance. So I really was not like jumping at that opportunity. But when it came, I really realized that it aligned perfectly with my goals and who I was as a businesswoman. I had so much that I could offer. So in this next phase, and I, even though I've been working for 40 years, I still have hurdles that I have not overcome or things that I have not done. And I was telling someone the other day, actually, I was telling my mom who's writing a book, and she has a chapter for each woman. And she said she wanted each woman to talk about their epiphany moment of experiencing themselves as a woman. And I couldn't do it. And then I realized this moment of retirement is probably my epiphany moment, because it has given me an opportunity and it's given me freedom in a way that I had not experienced it before. So in this next phase of my life, I am actually going to start a nonprofit. It's going to be pro bono. And for those of you who are worried about me fundraising, right now, I'm really thinking about doing this myself. Like I said, pro bono, and empowering women of color entrepreneurs and other disadvantaged groups and coaching them and how to be successful in the business world. I really do believe in this current climate, economic empowerment is so critical, and entrepreneurship is critical to the development of people who are disadvantaged and really critical to the ecosystem itself. So hopefully what I have shared today has been helpful to those of you in the audience. I know it's been helpful to me. And what I would say for those of you who are interested in doing business with the Coca-Cola Company, even though I'm not there, there's a strong team there. Please send any request to supplierdiversity@coca-cola.com. So thank you, and have a great day.
What a remarkably selfless thing for you to do, to take this role on pro bono and to advise others. You obviously have a wealth of experience, as does our next panelist, Ingrid Vandervelt. Ingrid is the chairwoman and CEO of Empowering a Billion Women, EBW. EBW Distributors and Vandervelt Global Investments. Previously, she was the entrepreneur in residence for Dell. She helped build a $250 million business segment and founded the $125 million Dell Innovators Credit Fund, the Dell Founders Club, and the Dell Center for Entrepreneurs during a 3-year term when she was there. She's also the emeritus member of the United Nations Foundation's Global Entrepreneurs Council, managing partner of Vandervelt Global Investments, founding organizer of Glass Forum, that's Global Leadership and Sustainable Success. You've seen her on CNBC with an original primetime series, American Made. It reached more than 1 million viewers. She's also been featured on NBC, Fox, ABC, USA Today, The Wall Street Journal, Forbes, Bloomberg, CNN Money. It just goes on and on. Obviously, a woman who knows quite a bit about investments and development and growth. And we are so pleased to have with us right now, Ingrid Vandervelt.
Well, hi there, and thank you so much, Colleen, for that beautiful introduction. And it is so wonderful to be here with so many friends, Sue, Jay, Paula, Yolanda, Therese. And I want to send a thank you. Lachelle, that song at the beginning, I hadn't heard it. It was amazing. Linda, Shirley, Cynthia, Suzanne, thank you so much for putting this together today. I am like Therese, I'm just really humbled by the stories that I'm hearing. And Colleen, as you shared a little bit about my background, I'm just sitting here reflecting on women educating women and why do we do the work here at EBW? And I'll tell you that as grateful and as fortunate, of course, that's Murphy's Law. The dogs want to start talking as I'm talking. Sorry about that, everybody. So, but as fortunate and as blessed as I've been to be able to accomplish some of the things that you heard Colleen talk about, it wasn't always that way. I mean, I was a child that grew up with learning disabilities. I was told, my parents were told I would never make anything of myself. They were worried about me. The school principals were worried about me. Had it not been for my parents being my mentors early on, just continuing to tell me that while the other kids were teasing me because they were saying, you're special, you're special. I was joked as being the special kid. It turned out I had hearing difficulties that once we discovered those, I was able to excel. But as a child, where I was being teased was the thing that my parents, as mentors, not knowing that's what they were doing back at that age, but they were telling me, you are special, you can do this, you are unique. And thanks to them, it was one of those things that I learned very early on, the power of mentorship and the power of somebody just saying, I believe in you. And that would go on into my career as an entrepreneur. When I started my first company, I was told I don't look like, act like, sound like, or talk like any of the entrepreneurs that the investors were funding. I would never be able to build a business. I would never get it financed because I didn't look like one of the guys. And again, I think this is probably a story that all of us here can relate to. At some point in our career, we're told, no, this is not going to happen for you for one reason or another. And had it not been for a mentor of mine early on who said, I believe in you, stick with the program, stick with it, you've got it, I will help you. It was that mentor that allowed me to get over that hump of disbelief and lack of confidence in myself that allowed me to go on in that first company and end up raising $7 million and selling that company a few years later. And what these experiences really taught me, again, was the power that you've heard about so many times today, women educating women, the power of mentorship. And, you know, women, 80% of women want to be mentored by other women. And this is why you heard, and I love that song so much, each one teach one, each one reach one, because wherever you are, wherever we are at in our stage of development, we each have something that we can reach back and elevate and lift somebody else up through the experience that we have. And this is so important for women educating women, because again, 80% of women want to be mentored by other women. The challenge is less than 2% of women, we've heard us talking about closing the wealth gap, less than 2% of women have ever gotten over that $1 million mark. Less than 14% of women have ever sat on corporate boards. And we all know the story, women compared to men in terms of our earning income. You heard Yolanda talk about that. On average, we're getting paid 72 cents to every dollar that men are getting paid. And if you're a woman of color, that number is lower. This, ladies, is so why it is important that each one of us, each one teach one, each one reach one. This is why we created EBW, because we wanted to create a platform that would reach out, connect, and be able to mentor women across the globe at scale. The pandemic has taught us a lot. The pandemic has taught us that we don't know a lot, that we don't know where the future of our economy and of our world is going. We don't know the things that worked in the past. Are they going to work in the future? Is what I'm doing today going to work tomorrow? But here's where I want to circle back to what's happening today and what you can expect today. And that is, there's a lot that we have learned, and there's a lot that we do know. We know that socially, women have been hit disproportionately to the men during COVID. From a health perspective, women have also both physically and mentally taken a disproportionate hit, okay? But here's where things begin to bridge to the hope of the future that we all get to do together. And that's around the economic value that women bring to the table. Women are recognizing for the first time ever, they're recognizing that we drive 12% higher revenue than our male counterparts when we're supported. We drive 35% higher return on investment than our male counterparts. And by the way, I keep saying male counterparts. I want you all to know we always talk about if we're not locking arms with our male counterparts, we're never going to elevate to our fullest potential. It's critical that we work together. And the facts are that women, when given an opportunity, I always say, I fund women because we're going to bust through walls and make anything happen. We're the fastest opportunity to getting our global economy back on track. We control 80% of the global wallet spend, and we reinvest 90% of what we earn into our families, communities, and ultimately the world. So we've been hit socially, from a health perspective, but we're recognizing our economic value, SHE, she. And this is why we've created the She-Conomy Project. The She-Conomy Project addresses each one of these three issues. Number one, from a social perspective, we're continuing to mentor more women, expand across the globe, launch a new school to teach more women how do you start, grow, and scale a business and have that opportunity to get over that $1 million mark. And together we lock arms and we're going to close that wealth gap. That's why Ambassador Sujay and I have teamed up to work together to make sure women of all backgrounds have this opportunity to gain access to the education and mentorship we all need to succeed forward. From a health perspective, we launched a distribution company this year. You heard Sujay talking about that. A healthcare distribution business. Why? Because most of the healthcare workers and frontline workers are women. Most of the healthcare products that people were struggling to gain access for are developed for men. We said, we've got to change this. We've got to turn that around. We launched a healthcare company that has grown so fast over this year, and we are so blessed to do it in partnership with Ambassador Susan Johnson Cook. And finally, from an economic standpoint, we have invested millions of dollars into the venture development, job creation, economic stimulus packages to help enable more women, not only to launch their own ventures successfully, but to join us in this EBW network and have the backing and the support of the entire EBW family. And you're seeing all of us here today, whether you're in the organization, partnered to the organization, we lock arms together. And what I'm so, again, just humbled by and grateful for from this incredible day. Thank you for putting this together, because it really just is this opportunity to see firsthand how, again, when women of all backgrounds, when we lock arms together, when we advance forward together, when we reach back, each one teach one, each one reach one, anything is possible. So thank you for being with us today, and happy Women's Entrepreneurship Day.
Thank you so much. All of the panelists are so inspirational, and we are very quickly, I know we are tighter on time, but we really would like to have each one of you take just a minute, 30 seconds to a minute, and summarize for us what your goals are for the year. And we're going to start with Ambassador Johnson. If you could tell us what are you looking forward to in the coming 2021 as we try to all navigate not only COVID, but what it's doing to our businesses, our lives, our families.
Thank you so much. So it's about navigating is the word, educating, and then celebrating sister business owners who are trying to do the work and collaborating. So we're locking arms with one another, because I say 1 and 1 equals 2, except when it's side by side, then it's multiplied, it's 11. And so we want to make sure that we lock arms together, we work together, and we form those collaborative relationships that will work as partners and team players together. And I think why the dogs were barking when Ivy came on is because they're celebrating her, not just a birthday milestone that just happened recently, but also for bringing us all together. She is one that we celebrate as a leader of leaders as well. So thank you so much for the relationship. And that's what we're looking forward to continuing and building on these great relationships with sister friends for the She-Conomy.
And Paula, what would you like us to know about what you're looking forward to here in 2021?
Well, I love what Ingrid said and what Ambassador just said. And I tell people all the time, my name is really Paula Collaboration Fellingham, because that's how it's done. And yes, we have huge, big plans, but let's all collaborate. I love it. There is this beautiful rising and awakening of the women of the world. It's more fast moving and far reaching than anything that's ever happened in history through education. As women are educated, then they can move out of survival mode up to self-development and up to selfless service, where we all want to live. So my huge plans for International Women's Day, I already talked to you about. We're growing Win India, Win Asia, Win Latina, and it's an education focus. In fact, the theme for International Women's Day 2021 is Women Rising, Educate, Enlighten, and Empower. So I'd love to collaborate with all of you. I look forward to meeting you all in person, and thank you and God bless.
And Yolanda Caldwell, what's on tap for you in 2021?
The College of St. Rose is celebrating 100 years as a college founded by women, and our Women's Leadership Institute is celebrating our first year. So what we're looking to do in 2021 is impact 100 women with our programming and our services. And we look forward to partnering with each one of you to make that happen.
Therese Marriott-Thompson, you must have some goals for 2021 as well. It's so nice that everyone's so upbeat.
So actually, I'm gonna keep it really simple. I really, moving into retirement, I really am focused on prolonging each moment of happiness and relishing that. I also truly am, I'm gonna empower one woman at a time, especially as a mother of a 23-year-old. And to be honest, and I'm not being coy about this, I want to learn more about EBW. And I want to thank Angie C.J. Sims for introducing me to this great organization. As I said, you never know what you're going to get when you're asked to do these. And I try to do as many as I can. But this has been great. And thank you, Ingrid, for your vision.
And we are going to hear now from Ingrid about that mission. Ingrid, why don't you tell us your goals for 2021 as we heard from these really remarkable women?
Well, thank you. And if I pause a moment, the dogs might actually say it for me. Thank you all for being such good sports about that. Really, just so beautiful. There are two things. Number one, the vision of empowering 1 billion women. We do not stop until we reach that billion. So that is first on deck. The second thing, and this is one that we've been pursuing since the founding of EBW, and with the launch of the distribution business this year, EBW Cares Distributors, it is our goal to do business in every state across the United States. We are a global business, but every state across the United States. And then with the large global corporates that are seeking to do business with these women. And what our financial target is $1 billion in revenue from the states and the corporates seeking to do business with these women. And I'll tell you why. Because going back to the fastest economic engine to getting our world back on track, it is women. And women have an unbelievable multiplier effect. And what I learned during my time at Dell is if I give a woman $1, she's going to leverage it to put $10 into the market, and she's going to build her business and create $100 worth of value. So when you take $1 billion into the hands of women across the globe, that'll translate into $10 billion in spending and $100 billion in global market impact. So we are obsessed over this goal. We are excited to partner with all of you here. We are excited to empower all of the women that are part of your communities, our communities, and close that wealth gap once and for all, and transform our global economy into the vision that we all see together. And that is to create the global sustainable future that we all envision for our families, communities, and the world.
And Ingrid, that will change the world. That kind of success will be world changing, and women will be at the heart of it. Thank you so much. And I'm going to turn it over now to Linda.
Thank you, ladies. Colleen, thank you so very much for participating as our moderator this afternoon, and to each of our panelists. You see why these ladies were chosen to be here today. They are simply amazing. They are trailblazers in their own right. So if you are seeking assistance, especially as a female entrepreneur, you have no excuse now. You have heard from these amazing ladies. You get to choose who can help you. The resources are there for you. So reach out to them. They've shared with you what they can do and how they can do it. But you know, this part is where I really become excited, because I get the opportunity to introduce the other side that helps me and others within the EBW team to do what we do so well. And that is our Vice President of EBW's Education and HR, Miss Cynthia Barnes.
Thank you, Linda. Appreciate it. It's an honor to be here today celebrating women, educating women. Speaking of educating women, my first experience with EBW was in 2019 when I had the opportunity to attend 2 12-week accelerator training classes, Making the Impossible Possible and Mentor Mastermind. While I was working a full-time job, I wasn't thinking about entrepreneurship. However, at the onset of COVID pandemic, I was put on furlough. And instead of stressing out about being on furlough, I spent my time volunteering at the Second Harvest Food Bank and attending a daily masterclass on mindset during the turbulent times that was put on by Ingrid and was being attended by people that were in the virtual chapter. At the close of the masterclass, I had an opportunity to sit in the hot seat where I presented my business plan to Ingrid. Now, what Ingrid may not have understood at that time is that the hour after the call, I actually got laid off from work. But here's the power of network, and here's the power of educating women. During that hour on that day, Ingrid stopped me during my presentation and she said, "Cynthia, I want you to know this is how it works in the real world. I need you on my team." And so little did I know in the next hour when I was going to lose my job and get laid off permanently, that I was going to walk into this opportunity with EBW. It is an honor and a privilege to be here. And I really want to thank Ingrid for giving me this opportunity to join EBW as at that time as the Director of Contracts and Development. And of course now, you know, as you heard, I'm the Executive Vice President of Education and Human Resources. It's an honor to be here and work with a leader who really believes and lives this principle of educating women. I thank you for this opportunity, and it's a wonderful day to be here celebrating women. And I'd like to bring on our Global Director of Community, Shirley Hogsett.
Thank you, Cynthia. Thank you, Linda. Thank you, Ingrid. Thank you, Dr. Fellingham, Ambassador Cook, Yolanda, Therese. Thank you all so much, Colleen, for sharing this time with us as we celebrate Entrepreneur Women Day. And I invite you here that if you've heard all of these great opportunities, these stories of Cynthia being a part of EBW, we invite you to become a part of Empowering a Billion Women. We invite you to become, to take a just look in the chat. There is a link there. Go to that link and give us your email so we can keep you informed of the great things we are doing here at Empowering a Billion Women. As Ingrid mentioned, the things that have happened during COVID, one of the things we've done here as EBW to make sure that we are educating women, empowering women to grow and scale their business. We are evolving and we are learning what is necessary to take our businesses forward. So we want you to become a part of this community, to join this community, to stay tuned to the new things that we are launching, because we can either stay here or we can create the future. And that's what we're all about here at EBW, Empowering a Billion Women. And you know, just not hear from me. I want you to hear from some of our members, women who have been a part of our community, and the impact that it has as they are growing and scaling their business. And first, I would like to invite Miss Willa Jackson to just share a little bit about her experience with Empowering a Billion Women.
Thank you, Shirley, for this opportunity. As a retired classroom teacher, my girls dealt with chronic absenteeism, and I didn't realize that it could have been caused by menstrual issues. So I became an ambassador for naturalpads4u.com, but didn't know how to sell. Then in 2018, I saw a Facebook post talking about empowering a billion women. The registration was $50 and I had 15, but I had to be there. So I started driving, hoping and praying that I could get a parking space and they'd allow me to listen in. Sure enough, I arrived as the car was pulling out and the man at the front door said, "Follow me." Inside were women dressed like millionaires, and up front was Linda Pringles Evans, now walking towards me. I asked if she would please allow me to stand at the back of the room to just listen. She responded, "The back of the room? No way. I'm taking you to the front." Who would have thought? Nobody does it like Linda Pringles Evans, and nobody does it like EBW. Back to you, Shirley.
Thank you, Willa. And yes, at EBW, we are helping women come to the front of the room and have a seat at the table. That's what we are doing here in Empowering a Billion Women. And now I'd like to introduce you to another one of our members, Miss Victoria Stola-Nakova.
Thank you so much, Shirley. My name is Victoria Strolnikova. I'm a vision and mindfulness coach, and I also serve as the Ohio chapter leader for EBW. And today I have the privilege of just briefly sharing with you my journey with EBW, which started over 2 years ago when I met an incredible leader and businesswoman, Miss Linda Pringle Evans, who I instantly gravitated towards because of her wisdom, her experience, and her unshakable commitment to seeing other women succeed. She truly embodied women educating women. And I so desperately needed that in my life and business at that point. And I realized I still need it today. As an immigrant to the US and the daughter of a single mother, I've always appreciated the wisdom and guidance of women and the value of education to transform our lives and to open up opportunities. So I wanted to lock arms with her and to become a part of an organization with a huge vision. And I've never regretted that decision. I've been so blessed for where it's led me to today, both in my business and in my life. And I went from attending the Columbus chapter launch, much like Miss Willa. You know, I couldn't even afford a ticket at the time because I was just starting my business. But with the support of EBW, becoming a part of their accelerator, I was able to launch my business, and everything has really blossomed from there. I've gone from being a member to being a chapter co-leader to now a chapter leader. And I'd have to say that EBW has truly gifted me with so many blessings, with mentorship, with trainings, friendships, masterminds, business collaborations, coaching, a financial planner, an accountability partner. I've been able to learn from and lock arms with an incredible visionary founder. I've had an opportunity to connect with women from around the country and around the globe who are on a mission to serve and create impact. And I'm so, so eternally grateful to EBW for all of those gifts, not just for me, but for other women. And thank you so much for allowing me to share my journey with you today. I'm so excited for what we can create together, not just in 2020, but beyond. Thank you so much for attending today, our special event, and for celebrating women educating women. Thank you.
Thank you, Victoria. And ladies and gentlemen who are joining us today, again, we invite you to become a part of our community as we empower women globally, reach the billion women to change the economy, and to empower them to create businesses that are sustainable. So right now, we invite you to go to ebw2020.com/education and give us your email so we can keep you informed on the things that we are doing in our community and help you to grow your business as we change the world one woman business at a time. Thank you. And Linda, thank you so much for this day, and it's back to you.
Thank you all. You have made my day, all of you, and everyone who took the time to spend this hour with us. We truly appreciate it. We're on a mission, ladies. 2021 is definitely our year. So there are no excuses. If you really want to thrive and be successful, you know where to come. We're here for you. As we always say, no woman is left behind. Ingrid is very adamant about that. So here with EBW, the Global Black Women's Chamber of Commerce, the WIN, the College of St. Rose, under the leadership with Yolanda and the Women's Leadership Institute, and Therese sharing information about Coca-Cola. Ladies, we have been given so much information today that can change the trajectory of our businesses and lives. But we are reaching that point of the finale. So it is my pleasure to end our time together with Miss Lisa Cliff, who has created a poem just for us today. So Lisa, take it away. Lisa, you're on mute.
Thank you. Women educating women. A big, bold, and beautiful opportunity for real breakthrough, for change and forward movement to naturally ensue. When women educate women, the teaching is richer and the learning is treasured. An unstoppable bond, strong beyond measure. When women educate women, education morphs into empowerment, empowerment into internal action, and action into inevitable success. As artist Frito Kahlo once said, "For she is not fragile like a flower, she is fragile like a bomb." And when women educate women, once closed doors burst open wide. Glass ceilings shatter with no place to hide. Paths to success now become clear. Boardroom banter, now we can hear. The keys to success. Once out of reach, women to stretch, dream, and expand, crafting higher, bigger, game-changing plans. Leading, owning, navigating our careers, seeing only our successes, and releasing our fears. CEO, COO, owner, entrepreneur. When women educate women, we give and retain so much more. Locally, globally, spiritually, we rise, collectively keeping our eyes on the prize. When women educate women, our hearts share a pact to uplift and empower and always reach back. From sister to sister, from generations to come, we are powerful beyond measure, inferior to none. Strength and determination flow deeply within our DNA, leaping from the sidelines and into the fray. Women educating women, together we rise. Sister to sister, together we thrive.
Thank you all. And I have to say this before we leave. A special, special thank you to the amazing team that pulled this all together. My heartfelt gratitude and appreciation for all who participated and made this a magnificent event for today. Here at EBW, from all of us, have a safe and happy Thanksgiving. Goodbye.